Okay, here we are. We're live. This is New Talk Now with Henry and Cornelius. We're just going to talk about what we've been up to here recently. And yeah, what do you want to start with? Cornelius, you want to play the drum a little bit?
Absolutely. So a good thing to do when listening to music and while I play, I often have like just such a nice flowing breath going, like whatever type of breath feels right in terms of volume and speed, but just breathing is so wonderful. So why not?
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's often when I do deep breathing like that, I'll just like burp out these like excess like air that I've been holding. It's like the best feeling, you get that energy blockage out of there.
Yeah, it totally clears the energy channels and digestion and all that as well, but also like the deep emotional ones like you're saying that just could come out of like an organ space because you're just creating space around it when you breathe and it's giving it room to release, really.
Yeah, it's interesting, like playing music and breathing at the same time. Totally gets you into that space, like within yourself, where you're just like with yourself. You're being in the moment with yourself. It's pretty cool, and it's fun to like myself when I'm playing the flute. It's interesting because it's like I can see the part of myself that is like the creative like generator that's like playing the sounds, but then I'm like watching my body is also part of the
Mm.
the process. It's interesting to be like in and out of your body at the same time. I did try to play instruments, when I was younger, but I didn't have the patience. I know you started real young, but for me, it's like my mind was so active that I couldn't that I wasn't like listening and like playing and being there all at
Mm.
the same time.
Yeah, it's like at the time your consciousness and your your just innate energy qualities were like attracted to so many things, right? So you're just exploring other things and
Yeah.
yeah, so much fun. Yeah, for me, I wouldn't even say I was super excited because I was like kind of told to play the clarinet and like drumming was kind of on the side for me and I didn't really know what I was going to do musically. It wasn't until I was like 11 or 12 just really decided, oh, I got to play drums. It just was super exciting to me. So you go where that like excitement takes you, you go
Yeah.
where that flow, where that excitement that like it gives you energy rather than drains your energy. So, and then there's a certain point where it's like after you follow those things that give you energy, then for me, from my experience, it requires like some discipline to then meet that energy over the long term. So it just takes like a real pure dedication and just a sincere commitment to keep meeting that energy over and over. And every time I do, I feel renewed. On a daily basis. Even I'll like be stuck in certain thought patterns or emotions, and just play the drum for 10 minutes, or really start making some music, and everything is just cleared out, and I feel so much better because I stepped up and met that energy again. So it's always there available, whether it's music, whether it's movement, art, whatever you do. It's like there's energy there to meet. It's out there. That's gonna make you come really alive. Feel real vibrant.
Yeah, man, that's a really cool way of putting it. Like, meet it. Like for
Hmm.
me, I could go. Sometimes like a day or two without really playing a flute, like really getting into the whole process of playing. But it's like, yeah, what you do is when you decide to get in that mode, you meet that energy. I mean, I never thought about it that way because the energy is always there. You're
Hmm.
just like deciding to meet it where it's at. And that's what I've been learning a lot lately is like every moment, you're meeting whatever energy you are, you know. Like there's endless energies out there, but you're just meeting the ones that you're deciding to in that moment. And we all go through like these like shadow aspects of ourselves, and we all have these like times where it's hard, where it's just like whatever emotion you're experiencing or mental thought that you're not enjoying, we still
Hmm.
experience these things. And it's interesting because what I've been learning is just to experience it. You don't have to like have an idea about like, oh, I don't want to be experiencing this or I'd rather be experiencing that, but really just like allowing these to experience these things and meeting it where you're at,
Mm.
like it's pretty interesting, yeah. You're just meeting energy every moment, and it doesn't even matter what energy you're meeting, just let it be.
Yeah, really, really, like, show up to it, and and then learn about it, because like even that those real dark shadow, challenge, difficult energies, there's like just such pure knowledge in those as well. So it's about like just being showing up in fullness, to meet that, because it's the resistance that makes it even more distorted. It's like you said, like, oh, I don't feel like meeting that. Well, it's time right now to meet it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. And
yeah. It's
things
so true.
flow better.
Yeah, and then the things like you said that you get excited about and that you really enjoy, they can drive you. So like yourself and myself, we were like playing music, so they can drive us to like, you have like a central focus with different focuses that you kind of base your being around, your life around, and
Mhm.
then you just like gravitate towards those. They become your priority. And then when the other things come up that you might not enjoy so much, like fear and anger or whatever it is, you just go through it because it doesn't matter. It's just that's just the energy you're meeting at that point, and so you just meet that energy, and then
Mhm.
and just keep going towards doing the other stuff. And yeah, like when you start to have that perspective, for me, it becomes a lot more fun, like because
Mm.
even when it's not fun, it's like it's just part of the process to having more fun more often.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it fuels the fun totally. There's all these, yin yang energies in creation, and we meet them, and we come back with an experience and some knowledge, and then some fuel, like to have more fun or create art in a different way or a new way. So you can gain from it no matter what that experience is. And it's like, for me, yeah, sometimes I look forward. Sometimes I question, like, oh, I didn't have like a kind of a difficult feeling today. Like, I wonder if everything's okay. Because usually it's like I have to have a little resistance, like even like playing to sit down and play for a little bit. Like usually some of my best breakthroughs in terms of like writing a piece of music or having an awesome session of drumming or music, I like had some really difficult feelings right before it, you know. So it was like that all like charged me up to have a wonderful time. And then on the flip side, I've been feeling awesome and then still felt awesome playing music. So it's like the cycles come in waves, I think. And it's like, depending on what you're like deciding to meet, the waves can be, all the waves can be ridden, they're there to ride and learn from. And it's like, don't negate any of them, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's really like I don't know. It's like I come to this new understanding of how it works. Because
Mm.
like when I was over there with you and we were making that music, man, that was just like a whole new reality for me. We were just like so in the music, when it ended, there was a good few times. It's like, where am I? It's like waking up from like this crazy dream and you don't even remember where you went to sleep. But it was just like you don't even remember where we started playing the music, and
Yeah.
it is so cool. And then to leave the East Coast and do all this stuff. I've been in quarantine for almost 2 weeks in Hawaii.
Mhm.
It's like it's such a big comparison.
Mm.
But like it makes you so grateful for like that experience we had and just like knowing that we can have these crazy cool experiences that we're never gonna like anticipate, and it's gonna happen more and more often as we keep going on that process of just deciding things that are exciting and fun and make sense. It's like, I mean, if you would ask me when I left high school where I would be, in like 7 years' time and what I would have done, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed anything I did in the last 6 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same with me, man. The places I've been, the people I've met, the consciousness expanding experiences I've had, and it's like, and again, and not all of them were like fun and exciting in that sense of like this joyful, you know, vibrant or blissful feeling. Like, man, just sometimes rolling around in that muck and that darkness is so rejuvenating because you come out of it just so amazing. You're just like, whoa, I'm back to this other state that I've felt before, and it's even better now. And it's like, I know what you mean where you're saying where you come out of that musical zone and you're like, you come back to wherever you were by the water. Because really what you did was you tapped into this other dimension where music like resides. So we're just bringing it all here. We got to tap into that dimension and be in both, you know, and dance with it and intermingle with it. So yeah, really losing that sense of whatever you had going on in the 3D physical reality for however much time. That's so important, and I think it's absolutely necessary, to merge the two.
Yeah,
So,
and
mhm,
like Blima in the comments here wrote, music is the dance of life.
mm,
It's interesting, and for me, it's like music is part of the music of the dance, but the whole life is a dance. Like our bodies are always moving. Even when
mhm,
you're like lying still, the breath moves the body.
yes,
And so the
yeah,
energy is always moving. And that's a dance. And so like especially as you're doing more movement, you can feel it. But even your breath is dancing with the sounds of the nature all the time. But then
mm,
when I go walking around, like my whole body is dancing. You become conscious
mhm,
of your toes and your feet, your
yeah,
like your lower legs, your upper legs, your pelvis, your breath, your torso, your arms, how your arms are moving, everything you can see. It's
mhm,
like you're operating this thing. It's just like in a dream. When you're in a dream, for me, it's
yeah,
very easy to like control the whole energy of my astral body or whatever you want to call it, and I can just levitate and I can do all this stuff, and it's really easy. And all we have to do to be able to use these like supernatural abilities that we have is to start to control our bodies. And it's really the energy body, it's an energy body is what it is. And so what I've been doing is I've been moving like all sorts of crazy ways that I never thought I would move. I just kind of like do all these weird movements, like, yeah, just like all
yeah,
sorts move in all sorts of ways, and you get the energy flowing in so many ways. And then when you start walking again or doing these movements that you've done so many times, you feel so different. Like Cornelius and I have been watching Master of Earth, and we've been walking backwards, and
mhm,
I've been doing the infinity walk backwards. The infinity walk. People should look it up. It's when you walk in a figure eight, and
mhm,
basically what it does is it rebalances the energy body, gets all of your energy meridians like flowing again, and it cures people of autism and like all sorts of dementia. I mean, lots of learning disabilities, lots of just all disease is just that energy's not flowing, right? A lot of people they only have the energy flowing, only on the left side and only on the right side. So it's
Mhm.
all these things we can do to get the energy flowing is really important. And when the energy starts flowing, you got so much more energy flowing to keep going and do stuff. Yes. It's like if you don't have a healthy body and you don't have energy flowing, then you're not having as much fun as you could.
It's true. Yeah, we came here to like really learn about these avatars that we're in and this like these awesome like just like all the aspects to it. And I think there's like many more that are still being discovered or were discovered and being remembered and all that. But yeah, it's so interesting to think about what you can do with your body compared to like sometimes I compare my body to other animals and stuff. It's like, well, my body can do this and their body can do that. And like I just really love comparing because then I really appreciate their body. I'm like, man, that's so cool to be in like, a squirrel body or a bear body. It's like, yeah, but then check out my body, It's like we're all out here in these bodies having fun and exploring, man. Just exploring and exploring.
Yeah, man, I love watching squirrels. Like the way their tail moves as they're like running, and their tail kind of just like hovers at that same height. The thickest end part of it, and then the rest of it's kind of just like floating as the front body is like going like this. The tail just floats.
Uh,
Yeah, it's so cool the way they
same
can run up trees. I mean, yeah,
Same with like a fox, that big fox tail. They're
oh
like
yeah.
sprinting through the forest and the tail's just like even the whole time, pretty much like counterbalancing their moves and everything. Yeah, and then you can tap in like through your mental body, you can really tap into like being them. Like close your eyes and just
Mhm.
imagine being in that body and you are in it. You're in it. You can move through the woods. Or you can actually have your eyes open in the woods and imagine being in the body moving through everything you see. And
Right.
you get this once you focus and even practice it, you get better at it. You can like feel some exhilaration from it. That's really interesting to me.
Yeah, and you can do it with the trees too. Like as you're hugging a tree, imagine what it's like to be that tree, have your roots running so deep into the earth and being connected with the other trees and the fungi, and at the same time going up into the sunlight and having all those like thousands of leaves absorbing energy from the sun. Yeah,
Oh,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, how our minds are that I don't know that they have that ability to just like to go off and
mhm,
experience anything you can imagine.
mhm,
And then yeah, it's interesting to like to still be here, in a physical body where it's like in a way we're kind of stuck here compared to that mental, experience we can have as another animal or something.
mhm.
But at the same time, it's like we're here, and so because we're in this body so long, why not train it and like figure out how to do all these things with it? Like I know Lima here, who's commenting. I mean, he can do like crazy stuff with his body, like all sorts of the splits and everything, and I know I've just from myself opening up my hip flexors somewhat,
Mhm,
just walking around with that, being able to get like this far from the splits or whatever. I mean, you have this whole new sensation of muscle control in your groin, and you walk
yeah,
taller, and you have like this explosiveness in your step, and it's like playing music. I mean, there's so many things we can learn and have fun with. We can teleport, we can fly, we can do telekinesis. All these things are possible. It's just taking
mhm.
the time and training.
Yeah, yeah, the training aspect is so interesting because, that's like so from the downloads I've gotten from, like, the Arcturians and other races, like, we came here to really learn about friction. So, like, the training is just like, oh, feeling that friction over and over and training the muscles or training, your dexterity on a drum or whatever. And it's like you feel that friction, that tension while training, and then you hit different points where it becomes smooth and like this sort of friction is this way, and you get to flow with it. You know, it's like, wow. And you wouldn't have known how that felt unless you felt this other type of friction. So it's just like it's a limitless process. You know, however you want to train your mind to be really good at imagining being a bird, or you want to train your hands to, you know, like make incredible origami and things. You can train your body and mind to do anything in creation. It's just it's so cool. So it's like the message that I get from, like, oh, people who are bored or depressed, well, it just doesn't have to be that way. You know, you don't have to succumb to that. It's like open up some energy channels, open up, you know, your awareness to new ideas and creativity, and bam, you'll be on a new flow of energy and something new and fun.
Yeah, in a way, like from what you said, I realized it all kind of starts with your imagination. You know, you've got to imagine, you know, what what's gonna be fun for me. You know,
Yeah.
and I've been there recently. Like, you know, I've done a lot of things. I've been a lot of places. But what's going to be really fun for me? And it's like, yeah, I want to do this far out stuff, and people might call me crazy, you know. But hey, when I'm really flying, they're going to be asking me, you know, how did I learn? And I say, well, you know, it took me a few years. You got some catching up to do, but this is what I figured out. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like there's no hurry, you know, because what am I going to do in the meantime? I'm just going to be out in nature, you know, trying to levitate
Mhm.
or whatever I'm doing. I'm going to make sure that I'm having fun as much of the time as I can. And then when I'm not, it's like, well, you know, you just be there with that. And I think it's an exciting future because, you know, with this whole coronavirus, you know,
Mhm.
it's really got people to like look at their lives and be like, well, hey, what do I really want to do? Because now they're like, a lot of people are complaining about things and their external reality, thinking that you know they didn't create them, but you know we all agreed to everything before we came here, and you
Mhm.
know you create your reality every moment. So people are slowly realizing, you know, you just got to start doing what you want to do and figure out what you want to do. And I don't know, it's
Exactly.
exciting, yeah.
Oh, it's so like once this all hit really in March or April or whatever, I was like, at first I felt a little resistance because like, oh man, I was gonna continue personal training in the way I was and at the school that I was like kind of assisting and teaching at. But then like within a few days, I just realized like, oh, it's the big pause. Like everyone gets to pause and like think about reality and what they're doing. And it's been really exciting ever since because I've had all these ideas of how I want to, you know, share with people specifically, like how I'm going to specifically share my, you know, what makes me excited. So basically, people innately, they want to see other people believe in themselves and be excited about themselves and what they're doing. So it's like I really was able to sit back and kind of fine tune this way that makes me excited. And then I know it's just going to make the right people that are ready to be excited in the similar way that I am. We're all going to meet each other, you know. Not everyone's supposed to like, you know, be cool with everybody else. Everyone is going to find like specific groups of people and networks that they can all like intermingle their energies, and it just really flows really well. So I'm excited about that. It's like, yeah, everyone's on this big pause. They can like check their reality, check what's exciting and not exciting to them. And yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens in the months and years to come. Yeah, I think some really wonderful things are gonna just occur, you know, be created on Earth.
Yeah, because you know I think or I see that we're really social beings. You know, you hear that kind of often. People say that, and you know, most mammals, I think they all basically live in some kind of pack or group.
Mhm.
You know, and I know the monkeys do, which are all brothers
Yeah.
or whatever, and even the aliens. You know, you hear most of them they
Mhm.
live in some kind of community, and so I think what's happened in my view is that society's become so like segregated because there's so many little niches about like things you can be passionate about and enjoy, but at the same time everybody's in these big cities where they're like spread out and they're not near the other people that have the same kind of ideals as them, and then even outside of the cities, you know, in rural areas, people can be separated by some distance to like the next person that's interested in what you are. But I
Hmm.
think now that, you know, like people are totally getting sick of all this like Zoom conferencing and all this like online meetings and stuff. No one wants to
Hmm.
be staring at a screen that long,
Mm-mm.
and
Yeah, I
and
think.
people
Yeah,
want that physical connection.
absolutely. It's totally essential to being human and being on Earth. And it's like I think all technology is neutral. It's just about the intention and how you use it. So this is obviously like an overload of technology of being on the screen. So everyone's going to wake up and realize how important, how wonderful it is to be together. So then I see like computers and the internet and meeting in this way is just ways to do it, just to find and connect, and to have a quick check in, like because you're in Hawaii and I'm up here in DC, and it's like we can intermingle our energies that way. But then, bam, we're planning our next move, like to get together, with each other and with other people. That's what it's going to be for. That's a hub to make plans, really.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, we've made these communities now online. You know,
Hmm.
had these people with the similar interests as us. You know, like I know all these people interested in like health, and for me that's so cool because, like I said earlier, when you're healthy, your body can move, the energy's flowing, you can do anything you want, and it's more fun for me anyway, and for a lot of people I've met, and so it's like, I mean, even just like coming here from Hawaii, someone messaged me like, "Oh, let me know the minute you arrive," and I'd never even talked to this person before, but we've been in the same like Facebook groups, you know, and so
Hmm.
yeah, we've had too much. Well, we've had all this internet. It's motivated us to get together physically, but it's also given us the ability to do so, and yeah, like you said, it might take a few years, but I see that these communities are going to start to form where people just like have fun and support each other, and you know, you like look around, you see someone, you just like smile and you just like help each other, and this have this whole like contributors and sharing economy stuff, and life just becomes about having fun. You know, like supporting the nature and just having fun, because somehow we've been tricked into thinking like it can't be fun and it shouldn't be fun because we've got all these programs that we've agreed to. But waking up out of those programs and going and spending time in nature and getting healthy or whatever you do that's fun, I mean, it's just the possibilities open up to, you know, where we can do anything. Like I mentioned, the cool extra supernatural experience, supernatural abilities we have, you know. And even music is one of them. You know, you can pull, you know, music out of somewhere and bring it into this realm, and it's magical, like Beethoven and Mozart.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely, man. And it's about the like the technology behind music is cool because we're just constantly expanding our sound palettes and expanding like how we create music. I see it as similar to what I just said about technology. It's like neutral. We can really make it fun, using synthesizers and other things. Personally, I like to feel like a visceral contact with my instruments, so the drums and the even the whistle and the guitar. That's personally what I need. But it's like it's all like limitless potential. Anyone could be charged up by anything. So it's find those things that charge you up. And I really wanted to talk one more thing about the finding your community. Like I think there's just going to be like these free flowing channels of people traveling all over the world, and you can go from city to city or town to town and village to village, finding like your tribe, of people that are into, maybe you're into like, I'm into like 20 different things that really make me excited. So I'll go to a village and I'll find people that are into like two of those things that I'm excited about, and I'm all good, or even just one of those things. And then I'll go to the next town or city, and maybe I'll find some like group. Maybe within 3 days, I've gone and met with like 6 or 7 different groups of people, and we all just had fun for a few hours, each time you meet. So it's just about just finding connections and people who are in the same energetic quality. of flow and excitement that you are. And that's what this is all about, man. So people are really like stepping back and realizing like, oh, a lot of people are probably realizing they're not having much fun. So I think a lot of people are like understanding what makes them come alive. And I'm just excited for that, in the months and years to come.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. We can create this world, man, and we will, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not, like I said, it's like no worries anymore about failure or beating the bad guys or whatever. It's like they're just gonna drown in the fun, that's surrounding them. They're gonna have no choice but to swim up and learn how to have fun.
yeah, yeah, man, I'm all for it. And like I said, if you're not having fun, that's okay too. But when you're in that space, figure out what you do want to do. Figure out what could be fun, and if you can't, that's okay too. But you start to be creative, use your imagination. You know, get on the internet, find something, or there's
It's
always
just
something. There's a reason why you came here. There's things you want to experience here. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come.
yeah, it's just abundant. The resources, the choices, the opportunities. So it's like if you're not having fun, it's just you haven't found it yet. You just have to keep searching. Maybe you have to radically change like what you're doing, but that might be required. I've done it at least twice in my life where I just felt like I uprooted everything and just went off in a new path. Even just in my mind.
Yeah, man. Well, with that, man, we don't need to keep it too long.
Let
Now,
me,
cool, I reckon. But I want to play a little bit of the flute, man.
yes.
I don't know if it'll work with you playing along too. But there we go. Yeah, man. That was fun, man. I'll do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Okay.